All right, round one. I don't like this hand. We have 2 green cards, 2 white cards, and 3 red mana. I don't think this is what I'm looking for. Let's try and do better. This, on the other hand, is fantastic. All right, we're going to bottom that. As much as I like the card, we're on the hunt for some lands, baby. So now we just need some lands and we'll be just fine. There we go. So what do we play first? Probably a Snapping Gnarlid, right? Even though it doesn't have trample, it doesn't trade with as many things because it's so powerful. Fire Mantle Mage, not bad actually. Not too bad. Horribly Awry? Oh, Anticipate. I was scared there for a second, but Anticipate is acceptable. I'm trying to think what that tells me. My opponent's blue-red, which presumably is a blue-red devoid deck of some sort. No turn 3 play either. I accept. Another land would be nice. Side Tiger, surprisingly good draw. I will say that. It's like we're playing Standard Constructed here. Are we going to Spell Shriveled? If so, I wish I'd play the Psy Leopard first. Scythe Leopard, excuse me. Somebody corrected me on that. All right. I guess Boiling Earth would hurt, but so be it. All right, we're just like a land away from dealing 1 trillion damage. Well, I'm glad I'm playing 1 trillion lands here. So it seems like a good opportunity to play a Woodland Wanderer, which is just a monster. My opponent hasn't played anything yet, which is highly suspicious. My opponent's ready to counterspell things. Okay. Next turn, if we draw a land, I was going to say lethal, but not quite with the Fire Mantle Mage. Close, though. Regardless, we're playing Fire Mantle Mage. So our opponent ready to process. All right, bringing back something that doesn't matter. So we play Mage into Ondu Champion, and it's pretty difficult for our opponent to win. I'll say that. Nice. Let's just go Mage. We deal 5 damage to our opponent, which is certainly enough. Drowner of Hope. So he's got 2 blockers, but he's at 4 life. He can only block 2 of our guys. Our opponent is actually dead, I think, with a land. My opponent double blocks Mage, double blocks a 2-power guy, and only takes 3? That is not good enough. Guess I can pass and do Natural Connection. Find a white mana. But what does that do for me? I mean, it just lowers the land count in my deck, right? I basically need to... Oh, he can tap creatures too. Yeah. So I wouldn't have lethal regardless. Well, that's actually interesting, isn't it? So, if all my guys had trample, double block, it still doesn't matter. It'd mean I would trade 2 Eldrazi for my Fire Mantle Mage and probably my Slide Runner or Snapping Gnarlid, depending on how he blocked, which means probably Gnarlid because it would have trample. So he'd go to 1. He'd have no Scion tokens, but my Fire Mantle Mage is pretty important. I think we're just going to play the champion and pass. My plan is draw a land and win. This might actually prompt my opponent to want to tap dudes down. Because my opponent can go block, 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 and then they just take 3 and go to 1, which I don't think is good enough. I'm really happy that my opponent used that. I think that's actually going to harm them ultimately. That would be the one not to tap, because that's the one you want me to attack with so you can kill it. That's actually just great news. So basically, here's what just happened. My opponent just lost the same blockers that he would have lost if I had attacked, except I didn't lose anything. And the reason I didn't attack is he would have just double blocked a Slide Runner and taken 1 damage, which doesn't seem that good. So I'm trying to think. If my opponent plays like an Incubator Drone, I would have 5 attackers. My opponent would have 4 blockers. He could also sack the Incubator Drone to tap my champion. Okay. Still think that's not going to be good enough, considering we've got the natural connection. So I think we have lethal now. Yeah. So we go land, swing. Actually, I don't even have to, do I? I can just play Shatter Skull Recruit. Actually, do I have lethal? My opponent has 1 blue up, so let's say block, block, take 5. Yeah, my opponent's dead. I don't have to show anything. And if I do have to show something, I'll show a natural connection. All right. Beautiful. So we're playing against red-blue Devoid, which is a good archetype. We have triple Goblin Warpaint. How did I not notice that? That's pretty insane, actually. Our opponent did not do much of anything that whole game until like turn 5 or something. Encircling Fissure looks less good. Like maybe I just want a Warpaint go a little bit more aggressive. Warpaint on a McKinley Slide Runner is not good against the Touch of the Void, but Warpaint on a Snapping Gnarlid is just fine against the Touch of the Void. And it can still attack into like a 2/5, which is nice. I can consider it. Just seems like Fissure's less necessary in this match. It still seems okay, though. Seems better in a match where there's going to be a lot of early creature plays. That doesn't mean my opponent doesn't have early creature plays, though. I kind of feel like Warpaint might just be good, though. What else did my opponent play? Spell Shrivel, Anticipate, Reclaimer, Drowner of Hope. Nothing else. Let's try the Warpaint. I'm going to go... Let's go balls to the wall here. Try this out. Yeah, we got to keep this. I don't see how we can mull a hand that's got all three colors and an aggressive 2-drop with unnatural aggression. So we're keeping. And we get to play the Gnarlid before my opponent gets Spell Shrivel up, which is good news. And we got that Warpaint. Got that Warpaint. We're going to, believe you me, we're going to be going probably turn 3 Sandstone Bridge, Warpaint. Warpaint unnatural aggression is not the worst thing I've ever seen either. Alright, so we're hoping our opponent does not have Horribly Awry or Touch of the Void here. But if our opponent doesn't have Touch of the Void right now, Warpaint's going to look pretty insane. Nettle Drone, not good enough. Yeah, let's just go Bridge, Warpaint, Bash for a lot. Having unnatural aggression is pretty sick here too. Alright. Opponent is getting ready to cast a colorless spell, I imagine. Molten Nursery, not good enough. Stonewaker is cool. Next turn I can technically play Stonewaker, Landfall, and still use it. I kind of like that more. In which case I just Touch the Void the Nettle Drone right now. But maybe I just want to unnatural aggression it instead. But then the Touch of the Void can't... Is there a 1-mana colorless spell I need to be worried about? I don't think so. Let's go land. Swing for 5. I think I am going to use unnatural aggression here. Here's my thinking. We use it now. We don't have to worry about Nettle Drone dealing damage to us. After this one, of course. On top of that, it's my turn, so I don't have to worry about sorcery speed removal. My opponent can't really play something that blocks all that well, to be honest. Like, it's got to be better than 5 toughness, which seems unlikely. Oh, yeah. That does work. That's okay, though. Now we get to go Stonewaker, Landfall, Swing. And then my opponent is almost dead. So then land next turn, and I can go dude plus Touch of the Void on my opponent. I guess my opponent's going to get to Molten Nursery the Stonewaker here. Bit of a concern. I think the Stonewaker already did its job, though. Boiling Earth's pretty good against us, too. I guess we don't need to play any more lands, do we? See if we get Spell Shriveled. Looks like it. Could have waited, I guess. But my opponent actually looked mana screwed, which is what I thought happened. But now it looks like my opponent might get to reclaim her, unfortunately. Channeler, okay. Alright, might as well use it. Alright, so we know we can't draw a Slide Runner or a Shadow Skull Recruit or a Natural Connection. Not the worst. No! That was a screw up. It's not what I wanted. Did not mean to click that. Bummer. Well, I guess that's one disadvantage of using the Fertile Thicket to look at 5 cards you put on the bottom of your library. If you don't click past that step, you draw the last thing in your deck that you want to draw, which is a forest. Unfortunately, that's pretty game-breaking, too. So, big old mistake. We'll see what I would have drawn. I would have drawn a Fire Mantle Mage. That could have helped, to be honest. If we're being honest here, yeah, probably would have helped. So my opponent's got multiple Spell Shrivels, which I don't even think is that good against us. Just kind of funny. Just because our deck is so aggressive. Alright, so next time I'm going to use Fertile Thicket, I'm not going to click a land. Do not click a land. Do not click a land. Do not click a land. Got it. Rolling Thunder? Scour from Existence. Alright. That's cool. What was I going to draw? Curious. Well, I would have lost anyway, but still. That's beside the point. Beside the point. Alright. So plan. Molten Nursery did actually work well for him there, but only because our deck has just a ridiculous amount of X1s. So, I guess I don't have any choice there. That's just going to be a thing that I have to worry about. Maybe we bring in more Goblin War Paints? And then I ditch the Slab Hammer plan? Because I want War Paint to get out of Boiling Earth range. Kind of want to keep the slab hammer though. I have no idea what to cut. I like everything. I'm going to keep it the same. Hope we don't lose to Boiling Earth. Yeah, this hand will work actually. And we will be using Fertile Thicket, and if we don't find a white mana, then we won't reveal anything. Opponent mulls to 6. I don't think we want that red mana. So Cinderglade won't be able to be played on turn 3 untapped, but I don't think that actually matters. Another Undo Champ. Alright, well, they are dudes. Ooh. There's a little land for you. Now I'm debating whether I want to... I don't even know if I want to play Champion into a... Like, if my opponent just leaves 3 mana up, and we know he's running multiple Spell Shrivels, why don't I just equip a Slab Hammer, return a Mountain, and just bash? And if my opponent burns, I just slam an Undo Champion, which is a huge threat anyway. So this way I don't have to play... It's really nice, actually. I just won't play into a Spell Shrivel. So yeah, we go land, equip, swing, return, tapped forest, sure. So this is perfect. Now our opponent has to do something. Spell Shrivel don't mean nothing, son. Alright. Can't Spell Shrivel me now, though. Hey, there's our white mana. Guess I don't have to show it just yet. Let's show the land we've already shown, then play an Undo Champion. So now our opponent's got to play Touch the Void, but you can't Touch the Void and leave up Spell Shrivel, so that way we can at least resolve another Undo Champion. Vestige. Not good enough, as it turns out. So, yeah, let's, seems like a good opportunity to use Unnatural Aggression. So why don't we go land, equip, Unnatural Aggression after attacks. Or wait, I don't even have to do that, do I? Why don't I just play another Undo Champ? Seems way better. Oh wait, I can't do that because I have to equip. So, original plan. Play land, Slab Hammer, equip, Swing. Let that resolve. Turn a land. Unnatural aggression. Eat your guy. Alright. Counter spells for days. I got counter spells for days. I still can do Stonewaker next turn, though. With the good stuff. I can also get Trample. With Undo Champ. The second one. So I can play Sandstone Bridge. Plus Champion. Swing for 7. Yeah. That's pretty insane. Oh, my opponent's got Spell Shrivel up finally, though. That's a bit of an annoyance. Doesn't really matter, though. I guess if my opponent was going to Spell Shrivel something, I'd rather they do it to the Stonewaker. But if I do it to the Stonewaker, then I can't play the Sandstone Bridge. I definitely want Sandstone Bridge this turn. I'm almost like, I'm like 1,000% sure my opponent has Spell Shrivel. And I can't actually play around it this turn. I guess we just force some blocks, huh? That's got to be the play. So let's go Sandstone Bridge. If I play Undo Champion, how much of a difference does it make? I really don't want to get Spell Shriveled is the problem. And like I said, almost positive my opponent has it. Almost absolutely positive. Maybe for that reason I just play a Stonewaker into it. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that actually. So let's swing with Champ, bounce Sandstone Bridge, play Stonewaker, pass. I think he probably just chumps with the Invoker. Maybe with the Vestige, because the Invoker seems more important. Now we play Stonewaker into the counter spell. Because like I said, I want to resolve Champion next turn. My opponent can process now. I basically let them do that at no cost, but they only have one card left in hand. Hopefully the processing is not a big deal. We'll find out. Not a big deal, as it turns out. So now I get to play Undo Champion with Trample. No cards left in my opponent's hand. Or a War Caller and give it Trample plus... Yeah, that's actually just insane. So, land, War Caller, buff, Trample, attack, absurd, broken, insane. Oh, it did top deck the Drowner. It's about as good as my opponent could ask for. And the problem is my opponent can tap things down. But I think we're just going to force my opponent to tap things down. If I draw another ally would be, ooh, or I just go like this. Or I just go like this. By the way, if I hadn't played into that Spell Shrivel, my opponent would have been able to Spell Shrivel there. Just as an FYI. And their blocks still would have been fine from the Touch of the Void because I wouldn't have been able to play the champion that turn. So it worked out. It all worked out in the end, folks. Despite my Fertile Thicket error in Game 2, we still managed to get a victory in this round. So awesome. Deck played well. Very fun. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you round 2.